Hello, beautiful people out there in YouTube and Facebook land. Hope you all are having a wonderful Sunday so far. I know that I am. As I told you all before, today is my daughter's birthday, and I had something else to do, but I got done a little earlier, and we decided to do the show after all. So anyway, this is the Demetra Kaye Show where we promote Black love, knowledge, and understanding of all things that go on in the Black community to make us an even better people. As you guys can see here, I am sitting here with Donovan, the recovering Democrat, Sadiq. Still in recovery. He will always be in recovery. One small little biscuit can cause him to relapse. And so he's got to be cognizant that he's always in recovery. Also like to thank Marcus Guyton, who I forgot to tell we was coming on here, but usually he'll see it, for everything that he does behind the scenes on Facebook to make the show go further. Also like to say a big giant welcome to YouTube and Facebook, the other side of the conversation. You guys make this show so much more fun. We love highlighting everybody's comment, question, or concern. In fact, this is probably one of the only shows that does that, because we feel like not only should you be a viewer, but you should be included in the discussion. So in the discussion we're having today, we're going to lighten it up. You know, it's the end of the year and we just don't really want to work that hard today, but it might be harder work than we thought. The question is, why should a man spend more than $20 on a first date? So we're going to get into that. But Donovan, what say you before I get to these comments?
Well, we don't know if the Dallas Cowboys have won yet, but it looks like we're probably going to get it done. I believe your Houston Texans beat my Chargers as well today. And in the audience was 50 Cent and Simone Biles. I believe Simone Biles' boyfriend plays for the Texans as well, which is kind of strange. You look at Simone Biles, as tiny as she is, and why are all these small women always with these huge dudes? It's like, how does that work? But anyway, that's another story. But again, it is Sunday.
She's a gymnast.
Yes, exactly. But it is Sunday, and we know when it's Sunday, that means there is a Demetra Kaye. But I want to thank you for having me on the show. And I also want to remind those guys, if you guys haven't had a chance, Demetra was on the Phil Scott, not the Phil Scott show, but the African Diaspora News Channel last night. And they were doing some really good information out there, kind of talking about the new Black media and, and the impact that we're making and how we got to support Black media. And this is a Black media platform. So I really, really strongly recommend you guys, not only like, share, and subscribe, because, the message is more important than the money, but we know it takes money to make the world go round. So anything that you guys can do to contribute, if you look down at the bottom there, scrolling across the screen, please donate Cash App, PayPal, and Venmo if you can. And for those that have been donating, we thank you so much. And we can let you guys know, your contribution is going toward a very, very good cause, because Demetra has some fires in the iron that we can't talk about right now. But when it does come to fruition, we will let you guys know about it. So take it away.
Absolutely. Thank you for that, brother. So let's see who's on here. Moni, how you doing? You said you were getting worried. Well, we said we weren't going to be on here, but we changed our minds because, I got done early, and why not, right? And so you say, not seeing your advertisement, but I'm glad you'll be on. Happy, beautiful Sunday to you and gorgeous Donovan. Much Detroit love always, Demetra. Yes, indeed. The same back at you. You also say, I'm looking forward to my delicious, handsome Donovan, just so I know how was his Christmas with the kitty cats. If he went and bought a lot of gifts and toys for the kitty cats. Demetra, tell us, what did you cook? Nothing. I don't do holidays. I didn't cook anything. Donovan, did you buy anything for your kitty cats?
Yes, I did. I got them extra food and treats and stuff. Have you guys noticed that there's a animal food shortage or something? I don't know if people have reverted to that episode of Good Times where they were eating dog food and stuff, but the shelves for the animals are just almost like gone. If you go to a lot of stores, a lot of animal stores. So, but I bought them a lot of stuff. I bought Belle her annual sweater and all kinds of stuff like that. So, let's just be real. I'm not saying that I'm not rich or nothing like that, but do you guys know there are a lot of, especially, I can only talk, when I talk, I mostly talk about my people that look like me. Do you know there are a lot of Black people, especially these single mothers, that will go bust during the holiday season, knowing they can't afford something, rather than being honest and telling their kids, instead of you having that PlayStation, I would rather have you have a roof over your head. So we got to think about stuff like that.
Yes, indeed. I thought about the Lord is my German shepherd. I shall not want. That was from Good Times anyway. So, um, Donovan, yes, indeed. Y'all welcome to the Demetra Kaye Show. And Monet, how you doing? And honey, where have you been? Are you excommunicated from Facebook? I haven't seen you on there. So anyway, you say going on dates is a waste of money. Women have a different man for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Okay, hold on to your horses, brother, because we're gonna get into it. And Robin, how you doing? And M's Viz, how you doing? He says, hey, hey, hey. Randy, hello, hello, hello. And that guy from Texas, peace unto you as well. How you doing, Robert Thunder? What's going on? And Prince Florida. He said, I'm proud of you, Demetra Kaye. Merry Christmas and New Year in advance. Thank you so much for that. Anita, how are you? You say greetings, Demetra and Donovan in chat. And that guy from Texas says, go Texas. Yes, the Texas did win. It was kind of like an upset. It was like, wow, okay, go ahead. And Shiloh, how you doing? He says, I'm guessing that I missed a ton of videos so far, but happy Kwanzaa, brother. TDD and sister. The recovery. No, I don't know what TDD means, but Sister Demetra, and same on to you. Know, we just started right now. We came on a little bit late. So you're right on time. And Eunice, what's going on? He says, I was just watching that. Is excellent. And Randy says, sis was on fire. Oh, you said y'all talking about the African Diaspora News Channel interview. Yes, I had a lot of fun doing that. You guys should check it out. We are actually in the midst of fundraising for the end of the year because, you know, African Diaspora News Channel is a huge channel and has needs. And every little bit that you guys donate to that channel helps. It has 1.26 million subscribers. Imagine if every subscriber donated $1 or even 50 cents, how much that would help the channel. So the GoFundMe is up on that channel if you guys want to be a great help. Don, what's going on? You say, hey, Demetra and Donovan. And that guy from Texas says, this Bud Light is for you, Demetra. Okay, well, I'm going to drink it after the show. And Moni said, Demetra, I'm a bit disappointed because I know you are a fun cook and I would love to see you prepare a show where you do different dishes. I think you're great, Donovan. I don't know if you cook. Hopefully. Does Glory Greens count in a can? That's what Donovan.
Hey. I don't, okay, I'm a traditional person, so I really don't like to cook, but my mother did raise me to be able to fend for myself. And a matter of fact, last night I put on a big, nice, big crock pot of red beans and rice. It made the rice separate. I keep the rice separate. And I've got the red beans in there, cut the onions in there with some bell pepper, and then I put a nice ham hock for flavor.
Sure. No, I'm just kidding. So anyway, Robin says, I don't celebrate these pagan holidays. It's been 9 years that I've stopped. Yeah, it's been a while for me too. So anyway, let's go ahead and jump right into it. So I was having a conversation. Hey, Olivia, how you doing? He says, hey, slow down a few seconds if you can, because I want to be here for this one. I have to run to the restroom. Don't y'all run out for me, please. Okay. Well, I'll go slow. And that guy from Texas, you made gumbo. And usually people make gumbo at the beginning of, or I guess New Year's Eve or the New Year's Day or whatever.
Yeah, it's always for the New Year. Yeah, if you're from the South, they make it in the New Year.
Yeah, I haven't had gumbo in years, but I know a lot of people do it in black-eyed peas and all that for good luck. So anyway, hopefully Olivia is on her way back from the restroom. So anyway, I was having a conversation with this guy not too long ago, and he was saying how, you know, in order for a man to take a woman out to dinner on a first date, you know, it's going to cost anywhere from $100 to $300 to do that. And I'm like, well, where are you taking her? He's like, well, you know, I got to get dressed and gas up the car, wash the car. And then, you know, dinner might cost $100 to $200. And I'm like, why do you, and I'm just asking questions, so don't get mad at me. So why do you as a man feel compelled to take a woman out to a first dinner and spend that kind of money? I said, what happened to a cup of coffee or meeting, you know, I don't know, at a park or somewhere public where you can actually, you know, have a conversation or, you know, something like that. Thank you, Thunder, for becoming a member. Appreciate you. So what happened to just, you know, doing something casual? And he says, I don't know, it just, you know, as a man, I just felt like that's something that we've always had to do, you know, to be impressive, right? To wine and dine her to the finest. I said, but on a first date, that's a lot of money. And so I'm asking the question, and maybe y'all can help me out here. Why should a man spend more than $20 on the first date, right? Because I'm thinking that if you spending that Pioneer, you made it. Yay. I'm thinking if a man is spending $200, $300, $400 on the first date, I mean, I'm thinking, is that a first date meal or is that a meal or an event? Because to me, you spend that kind of money, it sounds like an event, right? If you're spending that kind of money, should you know that you have something solid with this woman? I'm speaking from a man because I'm a traditionalist where I would not go on a first date and pay because I feel like the man should, but I'm not saying that he should take me to the Ritz Carlton and spend rent money on trying to get to know me. So I'm thinking a meal like that or an event like that is probably like a commitment when you're like in a committed relationship. Am I wrong, you guys? Donovan, what's your spin on this?
Well, here's my thing. Wasn't there a movie about that? I think it was called, it's an 80s movie. And again, if you were growing up in the 80s, they only made movies about our generation because we were that great. If you're a millennial X generation. Wasn't there a movie called Some Kind of Wonderful? Remember that movie?
Mm-hmm.
Eric Stoltz and stuff like that, where he spends all his college fund just to take this girl out on the date to make a point and all this other stuff. But anyway, yeah, that would be crazy. But I'm going to play devil's advocate real quick because I know all the ladies and I know Olivia's going to come get me. I know she's going to come get me, but that's why we bring her to the show to bring more likes to the show and everything, because you guys are the show. But I'm going to speak for the ladies. And here's what I'm going to say. You doggone right, he got to spend $200 when I'm coming to them because I'm coming, I'm the reason I'm coming there. All I got to bring is myself. He wants to be in my presence. That's why he got to spend that kind of money. Girl, as a matter of fact, $200, that ain't even enough. He should be at least dropping at least $400. What does he get for the $400? Me. My presence. Well, does he get some ass? Does he get ass? He didn't do no nails. He didn't get my hair done. Girl, I'm not going to go on no $20 date and putting this weave on, putting the nails on, and getting a nice suit, looking all good with the bat wings for $20. You got to be out your mind, girl.
Donovan just loves opening up a can, like the whole factory of worms. So let me get to these comments. Oh my God. Let's see here. And thank you once again, Thunder and the Pioneer, for becoming channel members. I love you. And Pioneer says, good evening, Queen and King, and same unto you. And and Olivia says, glory greens does count as long as you pour the saltiness off. Hello, Donovan and my Demetra. I made gumbo. Southerners actually make collard greens and black-eyed peas for the new year. Yes, my mom used to do black-eyed peas. Wasn't really a fan of them, but she made them.
Yeah, the navy beans. All the beans come out. Yeah, you do the navy beans.
Okay. And Randy, you says, take her to lunch. It might be cheaper on a first date. Yeah, even a lunch, like you get there before 3 type of deal. You can have anything you want on a lunch special, baby. But yeah, just that when I heard that, it blew me away. I'm like, are men really out there spending that kind of money I get it. You want to be impressive, but
that's simping. That's simping 101, because no real man would kind of spend that money, because if you spend that kind of money, are you supposed to expect something? I mean, I'm
gonna let y'all answer that.
Yeah, are we supposed to? If I'm spending that kind of money, because I work hard, I work at the Amazon fulfillment center. You know how long it takes me to make $200 at $9 an hour?
I'm gonna let y'all answer that one. Just keep reading. And Donnie says, I'm not doing it. Then she's gonna expect too much of me and expect me to sleep with her on the first date.
Exactly.
She gonna expect that, or you gonna expect that? And Moni said, Demetra, when you take somebody out to dinner nowadays, because food and gas, everything went up, you would never count when you got to look nice and presentable for yourself and then gas up your car. Okay, so you're saying that people don't factor in that. I think maybe he was factoring in the gas and washing the car and all of that stuff, but still, right? And Anita, you said that looks that's like special occasion date. What he's talking about, yeah, somebody that I would think you're committed with, right? I'm guessing. And M's video, you says, I agree. And that guy from Texas says, if I spend that kind of money, she better be my wife. I'm kind of thinking the same thing. Moni says, so when somebody goes out to dinner, they can't take into the fact that if they're going to buy clothes for themselves, because it's not just about the date, the clothes last you indefinitely, food is high. Okay. Well, most of the time when a person is going out on a date or, somebody, I guess a date, they might buy something new or, bless you, wear something that they already have. But I think especially women, we go out and buy something new, some new shoes and clothes. We want to wow and bedazzle him or whatever the case is.
New bat wings from their business. She had to go into her business line and take the bat wing out to put them on right.
Shut up. Morning says, because of the inflation, what would have been at a $50 meal might run you $150 up to $300, but you got some of that is very cheap and don't want to spend that. So that type you need to leave alone. But let me ask you this. So you're saying that he is cheap if he's not willing to spend $150 to $300 on you on the first date? Why do you say that he's cheap? And what do you think is reasonable for a man to spend on a first date, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, let me ask you this, seriously, ladies. You don't know me from Adam. I could be the axe murderer, and we're hearing a lot of stories of women being murdered, these young women being murdered with these zaddies and meeting these guys on the first date. Seriously, you want to meet somebody in public. I don't know you from Adam. We're getting to know each other. What is wrong with meeting somebody for a coffee, maybe a nice burger or something like that, and kind of getting to know each other or something like? I mean, you're going to know if there's a click there or something there. That's what, down the road you get, it gets better and better down the road because you can see what the future is. But what is wrong with $20?
We're going to find out, brother. And Randy says, men, whatever you start, you got to keep it up. That is a good point. And Diane says, shoot, an expensive meal doesn't get my boxers off. So you trying to flip it around. And Amanda, how you doing? You say it's $20 will buy you some condoms and lube.
Is that my Amanda?
That's your Amanda.
Well, hey, let's get that $20 going.
Anita says, oh Lord. And the Pioneer says, absolutely, Queen. It's been a long time. I shouldn't have left you without a strong rhyme to step to. Yes, indeed. Eric B. and Rakim. Yes, indeed, brother. But we are so happy that you're back. And Hannah, how you doing? It says, money is relative. A pay rate of $10 per hour views $100 differently than a man making $50 per hour. So there's no one size fits all answer. And that is a good answer. So if he's making the money, that might not be nothing but a drop in the bucket to him to spend that kind of money on the first date. So I like that. Hey, fly on the wall. You say beatings. There must have been something crazy Donovan said. And Marty says, much Detroit love to the Pioneer. Okay, so he's speaking to Pioneer. And that guy from Texas says, like that chick who thought $100 Ruth Chris dinner was cheap. And who was that? And $100 at Ruth Chris. I mean, I've never been, but I've heard a lot of people who have gone. That sounds like that's a good deal at that type of a steakhouse, right?
Well, just think about it. Okay, let's say I want to meet you to go to the state fair. To get into the state fair is about what, $15-20, right?
Is it?
Yeah, something like that. Let's just say $15-20 to get in. So I've already spent $40 walking into the gate. Plus the parking was $10. So I paid $50. We just walked into the park. Now you want your turkey leg, which is another $18-20. So if I get you a turkey leg, now it's already $70 already. And of course, that turkey leg should be enough for the night.
And I want a stuffed animal.
Well, go ahead and take that mallet and go get you one.
And the Pioneer says it depends on the man and the woman. Some men are so charismatic with the gift of gab, they don't have to spend any money. Women will spend it on them. We're turning the tables here. Okay. And Olivia says, I'm back. So yes, I think if the bill comes over $100 and can possibly go up because of the female, that's too much. Laughing my ass off. Donovan, I actually agree with you, and I'll tell you why. What? Hey, Sunlight Says, "What color me surprised? Hello, family. Yeah, we decided to come on because I got done early." And the pioneer says, "Well, we, or at least I, can speak for Thunder. Laugh out loud. Love you too." Well, thank you. And Fly on the Wall, he says, "Hello, everybody. I hope you're looking forward to great things coming in the new year." Yes. You know what? I'm not even waiting to the new year. I'm looking forward to it now. I'm starting before the new year, but I hope the same for you as well. And Marty says, "Demetra, you are beautiful." Oh, well, thank you. And very educated. It would be an insult to you or Donovan's legacy to take you out on a $20 date when you are over the age of 21. Let's be clear. It's modern times. Expect 300.
And don't get me wrong, I wouldn't be against that, but really, I'm the kind of person, I'm kind of offended to spend that kind of money on a meal. Do you know $300 is some people's groceries in a month for a family of four or whatever family is?
Okay, Kendall. So let's ask this. What would really, and I'm not saying that I don't have an answer. I'm just asking, what would be really the reason to spend that kind of money on a first date? Like what are some reasons that you all can think of?
Well, I can say like going to a prom or like when we went to those events in LA where we're meeting like Regina King and all these people like that. Yeah, I can see, because you're in that atmosphere. So it's just the atmosphere of doing that. But outside of that, if it's just regular, I'm meeting you off a dating app. No, I don't even know, I don't even know you yet. So.
All right. Eunice, how you doing? It says it's just not wise for a man to spend that kind of money on a first date unless he has it like that. Okay, so you're kind of agreeing with Hannah. If he says if you got it, you got it, right? And the pioneer says, I'm sorry, it's a form of prostitution, an indirect way, but you're still paying nonetheless. Well, I think you men can also agree to, if you're gonna court a woman, to some degree, it's gonna cost you something, right?
So wait a minute. So the woman is the pimp and the dude is the hoe?
Yeah, you could probably look at it that way if you want. Robert says, "You're not wrong, Demetra. What's the agenda for a man to spend that kind of money on the first date? What is he expecting? Why not go out for coffee, etc.?" Yeah, I wouldn't be mad if a guy wanted to take me out to coffee and say, "Hey, I want to get to know you. Can I meet you at the local, black owned coffee house or something? We could talk." Because I feel like too, when you're sharing that type of a meal, which is so expensive, you're focusing on eating and maybe got other things going through your mind, like, damn, did he want something else with this after we leave? And all that. And I don't really feel like when you're out to dinner, you can really, like a first date, how do you really get to know each other if you're, scarfing down food and all of that?
See, and the thing is, Robin, too, have you really listened to these modern young girls now? I just scroll YouTube and you hear them say they're not going to go out for 20. They're tired, and it's always the big girls saying that. I'm tired. I'm not going to get dressed up for no $20 date. This is how they think. They think that the monetary value of what a man puts out is to see if he is worthy of their time.
I see. Eunice says, "I used to work with a man that did that all the time, spending a lot of money on women, and he could never keep a woman. He would cry all the time." Yeah, because he probably led with his wallet, and they were like, "Well, shit, the girls got to eat, and you was offering." So, you know. And Curtis, how you doing? You say, Randy, I read your comment, says, "Unless you come to your senses, there's a fine line between impressions and being ratchet. Don't advertise what you don't have. Also, recognize when she's digging." Okay, it's a good point. And Olivia says, "A man should never entertain a woman that doesn't bring up the thought and point of saving during the entire dinner." Okay. And Monica says, "You can expect a minimum, Demetra, of $150 to $300 because of inflation prices. If a man can't spend that, you don't need to be with them. If a woman couldn't spend that, you don't need cheap, broke, worthless." Woo.
Okay, well, let me ask you this, Moni. Like I said, I'm just playing devil's advocate. Show me in the hood where there's a restaurant that you're going to spend that type of money.
I'm gonna just let her answer that.
Well, no, I think that's a valid question, because usually, if I'm going to take you to that type of restaurant, do I not have to leave my community if I live in the hood or in an average location? Like, okay, Demetra, you're from the Inland Empire. What restaurant will you go? You're in Riverside. Other than the Mission Inn or something like that, where would you have to go to spend that kind of money? Redlands. So those mom and pop like
I
restaurants
mean,
in
there's a few
Redlands.
places in Mario's, it's
Yeah,
not,
Mario's. Yeah,
yeah.
downtown Riverside, Mission Inn area. But
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. You would have to go outside of your community to really go and do that. I live in Moreno Valley. We don't even have one restaurant that you're going to spend over $30 for a meal.
If you get 100 things on the Taco Bell menu, you might be able to. And Tam, I am. How you doing? I like that name. Said bat wings. That's Donovan's definition of false eyelashes. Because to him, he says they look like bat wings, like you're gonna, take off a fly. How you doing, by the way? And Randy says, I don't agree. And Tam, I answers, I always bring money so that we can split the bill on the first date. So you're saying I like to go Dutch because that way there's no expectations on any side, like Donovan talk about, oh nah, that side of the menu, that means you're gonna have to do something. Yeah, so
let's be real, ladies. If you want the filet mignon, the lobster, come on now. Come on. You gotta be real. You gotta be real. What do you think?
What does that mean? You gotta be real. What does that mean?
If you're gonna order that type of palate for yourself, how do you sit there and think that the man doesn't want something?
Like what?
Your time.
You get my time right now, brother. We eating.
Yeah, right. Okay.
I
can see us going back to your dad's house. Talk about, here's my bill. Here's what I paid. He'll be like, Mike, you paid this for my baby? Demetra, get down here and get this nigga something.
Be like, thank you. Good night. Fly on the wall. He says, I'm a true believer. When you go on the first date with a complete stranger, you should go Dutch. Okay. So there's a couple people here saying basically you should go Dutch. Okay. And the Pioneer says,
but if you're going for coffee real quick, if you're going for coffee though, and it's a first date like that, come on, brothers. If it's $20, you should be able to handle that. You should be able to handle that.
I'm going to keep reading. Pioneer says, I think many of us have learned from Caucasians to make things a little too complicated, more complicated than it should be. I've had sex with women I've never had to take out on a date. Lucky you. I don't know.
I'm still looking for those girls. Those girls have been leaving California in droves.
You've been running them off, brother. And Tam Miami says, on the first date, I don't expect him to pay the full bill. Okay, and then if you don't mind me asking, why do you say that? And Eunice says, there's a lot of women that use a man just for dinner, knowing that they have no intention on having a long-term relationship. Yeah, there's that term of, well, a girl's got to eat. If he offering, I'm going to go, And Olivia, you say, and if she doesn't, that should be a red flag if the man is trying to establish something serious. But okay, stop with the bat wings unless you want me to get on you. Laugh out loud. And Thunder, you say, $100 for one meal? He said, that's an early bird special and a blue plate special for lunch and for dinner at a buffet. And I still have $40 plus left over. And that's for Agnes, Gertrude, and myself. Because you can use their senior citizen discount, right? And Tam Miami say, expensive dates are for wealthy people or committed relationships. Okay. Pioneer says, dating is mostly a Western concept. It started off as an informal form of courting for marriage. If you and the lady just want to have sex, that should be clearly understood. I agree. Those terms should be agreed upon up front. And Moni says, the guy from Texas. Okay, so you're talking to the guy from Texas. And you also say, because the inflation prices of food and everything has went up, you would expect what used to be $50 can now be $150 to $250. Unfortunately, but you got some people are cheap. Don't waste your time.
Well, Moni, if inflation went up almost twice what you're saying there, from $50 to 100, or 3 times, I'm sorry, to what you're saying right there, nobody should be eating nowhere. The country would have imploded. That's 3 times the inflation rate. You're talking about almost 1,000%. That would be crazy.
And Hannah says $100 at Ruth Chris is peanuts. Yeah, that's what I thought. And Moni, so you talk to the Pioneer, and the Pioneer says, I haven't been to Ruth Chris, and I have no plans to go unless someone takes me, and I don't have to spend any money. Laugh out loud. I don't get caught up on labels. All right. Hey, Felicia, how you doing? He says, I always plan a date like 2 places. The first part is €20. And you say, like picking up, hanging around. I don't need an escape. I'll ask to go to a nicer place with her, but gotta pass first. Okay, so basically you gotta, I guess, get to know that person. Is that what you're saying? And Don, you said you might get some tongue for that meal on the first date. Shoot, I ain't easy. You know what? You think you slick. And hey, Al, how you doing? He says too many people are. Ooh, he messed us up.
Parsimonious?
Parsimonious. Well, now what the hell does that mean? I think he's slick with these big ass words he don't nobody else knows. um, and Hannah says, true pimp don't spend no dough on the booty. Mace. Okay. All right. And the Pioneer says, New Year's for me begins on my birthday, not on January 1st. So when is your birthday, by the way? We want to make sure that we sing a nice happy birthday to you when it comes up. And Felicia says, with an escape, I mean, if I don't see you fit for me, I gotta go. Got it. Okay. And I think that's really the purpose of the first date, right? To get to know if you want to have a second or a third date. And Tam, I am, you say, I guess I'm not expecting that. I would never take a date out for $300 for the first date. I mean, unless he's like Richard Gere or something, a pretty woman, or he's, got that kind, Jeff Bezos, or, like Hannah said, if he's making that kind of money and he wants to do that. But for me as a woman, that would never be a requirement. Like, oh, Denny's, I would never, I mean, the purpose is to get to know.
Well, look, I can understand Denny's. I understand, but okay, Waffle House. Okay, we'll take it to Waffle House. That way we can see the stripper fights.
Can we go up a little up beyond the Waffle House? Like I would even go to Starbucks before Waffle House.
Well, come on, we can see the stripper fights. I'm only taking you to eat. I'm also taking you to see the stripper fights.
Entertainment too, huh?
Entertainment, exactly.
And me see him. How you doing? Long time no see. Says he may just like fancy things. True. So if that's his thing, then yeah, sure, why not? And Monty says, I'm so interested in why I hear Donovan, my gorgeous, sexy brown sugar. Just go comedian. I adore him, but he makes good points. Hey, at the end of the day, unfortunately, inflation is high. Let's treat ourselves, or let's save our money.
Right. And let me ask you guys this: what, Moni, do you understand how inflation exists? They're printing more money than there actually is out there in the world. So that's why they're making inflation. And that's how these corporations are making their money back. Because technically, if everybody stayed home for over a year during the pandemic, why do they keep printing money?
Thunder says, and yes, I love you as well. That's why I'm always here. I appreciate you so much, brother. Does Agnes and what's the other Agnes and Gertrude? Do they know you spending so much time over here? And Nasi, how you doing? He says, never spend that much on a date. Okay. And Dr. Matthews, how you doing? You say role reversal. So he says a lot of role reversal going on up in here. Well, do tell. And I hope that you are feeling much better, by the way. And
well, yeah, Dr. Matthews. I mean, when you got the money like that, like some of you sisters do, why not? If it works if y'all gonna do it to us, why can't we do it to y'all?
Olivia says $20 is great for a nice picnic or on a park with a nice blanket and a basket, a fresh, clean strawberries, some whipped cream, some other fruits. I love intimacy, and that is something that shows up beforehand. Good point. You taking notes, Donovan? And Moni says, I just say at the end of the day, Demetra, why not treat ourselves? Why do we have to keep being cheap if you got that much to make a home cooked meal or a home cooked lunch? Well, I don't know. I'm asking y'all. I'm just moderating here.
Well, and I agree with you, Moni. Like I said, in a perfect world, but in the Black community, when you're sitting there living with your sister or cousin Ray, and there's 4 people in a 1-bedroom apartment, do you really have the money to spend that kind of money when rent is due next month?
We're asking questions. And Pac-Man, how you doing? He says she probably would be expecting that every time we went out on a date. Good point. He set the expectations high and is like, the next time, the Taco Bell. No. In my Kamala Harris voice. And Felicia, you say exactly, Donovan. Then I gotta go. Sean, how you doing? And you also say, Felicia, no deeper that escape. Okay. And Marcus, thank you. I knew you would show up, even though I forgot to tell you. I hope that you are doing much better. and you are, coming along in every way, shape, and form in the healing process. One who cares, how you doing? He says, good evening, Demetra and Donovan. Love you both. We love you too. And Al, you say, first date tip: a nice dinner and bring her a Bath and Body Works gift bag set. Okay, so he raising the bar.
Wait a minute, Al. I have to disagree with that. See, maybe that's what they do down in Houston in the country. I'm going to Victoria's Secret and getting that nice slip gown and giving her that.
Y'all crazy. So you trying to one up it, huh? Olivia says, first of all, I appreciate you two coming on today. Honestly, I love the show, although I get upset sometimes, but that's just normal. But you know what? It all works out in the end. And the partner says, I agree. The queen is looking nice and beautiful. Oh, thank you. You said, and soft, looking like you just want her to lay her soft, puffy head down on your chest and enjoy a quiet time together. Wow. Okay. And one who cares says, if I were single, I'd bring extra cash. I like to eat. Okay. So you're saying, if I want something extra, I'm gonna pay for it. Okay. And Omi CME says he don't have to get something the same night as the first date.
Well, so basically I should go into a store, leave my money, even though I don't want to purchase anything right then and there.
I was like, I'm glad I didn't drink this. I
mean, it's the same kind of concept. I mean, if you have any, sense about you.
Does steak equate to sex? Don't answer that, because I don't want to hear your answer. I'm asking them, crazy. And Felicia says, first date, maybe pick her up, but meet in a place for meeting, drink, or activity, max €20 per person. If I liked her, I would ask to let go to another nice date or first date if I want to spend, I think, more money. Okay. And so what is €20 in comparison to American dollars?
Euro is better than the dollar right now. So you talk about, let's say, like, for every euro, let's say it's $1.50 compared to the dollar. So 50 cents more. Let's say about something like that.
Okay. And Nazi, you said, Demetra, put it on them. Okay. And Warrior Scully say there is nothing unnatural or embarrassing. And if I didn't already, hello, how you doing? It says there's nothing unnatural or embarrassing about a man investing in sex. We've been doing it for thousands of years, of course. But I'm just asking questions. You spend that kind of money and you don't get that. Are you mad?
Damn right I'm mad. You ain't gonna get no. As a matter of fact, get me out of your book. Don't call me. Don't do nothing. Don't do nothing for me. We're done.
After she burped, she's like, gladly. And Don says, Donovan, you live in Moreno Valley. My younger brother was last stationed there when he was a member of OSI.
Oh, yeah, right at March Air Force Base. Yep. I was stationed at March Air Force Base too. My first duty station and my last. Yep.
Cool. And Felicia, and I'm saying your last name because your first name. You told me once before, but I'll be forgetting. You say if she's not pass K, press escape, go, gotta run. So yeah, I'm still trying to figure out, like, you want to get away really bad. I'm just trying to figure out what's going on here. And Hannah says, this is America. There's never a situation where someone gave without expectation of something, even if they expect the door to be open for sex down the line. Very good point. And Felicia says, cost $40 max. Okay for me. So $40 maximum is what you're willing to do. And Olivia says there's only Chinese restaurants or Italians close by. Even if he buys the groceries for the first date, I have no problem with me cooking for us, but he will be going home afterwards just to think. Well, I would just say this. Me personally, I wouldn't invite a man to my house on a first date, and I wouldn't go to his house on a first date because I think that's just too familiar for one of us. You know what I mean? And so I would rather just meet somewhere publicly so we can really concentrate on talking and him not thinking, the bed is in the next room. I wonder how much I have to get her to drink to get her back there. You know what I mean? And Angela, how you doing? You say the first date is his audition. So, okay, so you're saying that he's auditioning with his money. Is that what you're saying? Like he's got to really be impressive?
And wait, let me ask Angela this question. That's a good question. So if we're auditioning our money or whatever it is, what are you guys bringing to the table?
Duh. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I'm gonna let y'all answer that. And Sublime Prince, how you doing? He says the first date is simple. Talk before anything. And Sunlight says, are you talking about the first dates or multiple dates? Women shouldn't go on multiple dates with men they aren't interested in. On the first date, how can you know? So that's a good point. I agree.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree with you. You shouldn't, as a woman, go on keep going on dates with a man who is spending money on you. You know, you're not trying to really take it anywhere else with him. But I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna let y'all answer that. How will you know on the first date? I guess what he's capable of. If he's not, am I reading this right? If he's not spending a certain amount of money, is that what we're going with that? And Nasi, you said, I'll buy the ingredients if she agrees to cook. Okay.
That's how it used to be back in our grandparents' day, when they could court and stuff, but you would see if the woman could cook, which is an audition for her. And, he'd bring the stuff over. I dated a girl in my earlier days and she was raised old school. And she's like, oh, just come on over. And what I did was I brought this roast over, right? She cut the roast in. She was an older lady. She cut the roast in half, put half of it in her freezer and cooked the other half. And then me being young and dumb, not really, understanding what was going on, I leave whatever. I just made her a nice half a roast.
I thought you were gonna say she saved it for the next time he came over.
No, she's making groceries off of quality food. Like if I had brought a steak, she's taking half the steak and putting it in the freezer. Everything was half. I was like, wait a minute, what's going on here? So, but she was a hell of a cook.
Maybe it was for her other dude. Like shit, he gonna. It was for the guy she really liked, and he didn't have to spend no money. And Hannah says prices are also regional. In New York City, you have to pay $50 for parking. Same thing with LA. I see we got some spam going on here. Let me go ahead and clean house really quick. Blocked. Okay. And Sunlight says Ruth Chris food is overrated. I've never been, but I hear people talking about it all the time. And Curtis says, I'm going to be real. I'm a plus 50 widower with one grown, 2 teens, and 1 little. We're not going to the Ritz, and my money is to care for my family. Yeah. So, I mean, that's smart. If you don't have it and you have to do other things with it, like don't have the need to impress somebody with money you need for other things, right?
Right. Unless you're going to Golden Corral or Sizzler or something like that. I could swing that.
Golden Corral. I'm just kidding. And Olivia says, I'm only 43, Prince Donovan, and I can and will cook. So what's up, Prince? Laugh out loud. What happened to my Prince from a few days ago?
Okay, right on. I'm gonna write that down. I'm gonna write. Okay, good.
Listen, ladies, the auction is back on $7. We're starting at $7. Let's see what we can get by the end of the night. We are closing this auction for Donovan off at the new year. He's gone to the highest bidder. Okay, in the story. And Marnie says Donovan is sexy. Okay, now you're gonna have to bring your money to the table. Marnie says Donovan is sexy and delicious as you look. I think you're worth to me 1,000, and I think Demetra is worth 5,000 because she's pretty smart, fun, and kind. But that's just the way I feel. I love you both. Well, we love you too. You know what? I think I'm just gonna give Donovan to you for free just because you said that. Nikki, how you doing? You say a first date should be light, and if a woman stick around to get to know you, then upgrade the place. See, I agree with that, but I'm gonna keep reading. And Moni also say, but I must say, on Real Talk, Donovan, you are right. That might be someone's whole grocery bill, but keep in mind, no fault to any of us. Inflation of food has went up beyond 80%, so a meal is costly nowadays. Yeah, it's an experience if you really think about it, right? And Thunder, you say, for me, she gets no dough if you see her sucking the salt off a sunflower seed. You better believe some other cat bought it for her. Well, damn.
Damn, that man's a genius. That man is a genius.
Golly. Sunflower seeds ain't what, like a 50 cent a pack? Felicia, I say exactly, Donovan. And the Pioneer says, if I have that kind of money like a billionaire, I wouldn't date. I would go to foreign countries and bring my own women back home. Okay,
Well,
big
yeah, well,
roller.
exactly, Pioneer. You would go to a place like what's that, Abu Dhabi, or where does everybody go? Dubai. You go to
Dubai.
Dubai and just fly you the chicks in,
That sounds a little bit like trafficking to me, but I'm gonna keep
But
reading.
that's what they're doing there.
All right. And Felicia says, first part of the date is activity. Can she keep up? No, gotta go. What kind of activity you talking about?
See, that's where I was gonna go with you right there.
And Anita says, so what's wrong with going on a date via Groupon? I wouldn't have a problem with that.
Nothing at all.
I
Nothing at
like
all.
men who are smart with their money. Don't listen, you ain't got to lie to kick it for me. Don't take me somewhere you gonna be going home and look it all up under the cushions for your money for lunch money tomorrow. I don't mind you using a Groupon or whatever the case is.
Did Demetra tell you guys we would go out to lunch and stuff? You got a military discount? I'm swinging mine.
Yes, indeed. And Don says, back when I was a heathen, I was used for 6 years by a Russian woman who thought just she flew me here and there and took me to restaurants, bought me nice things, breaded me out. I was her man toy. You know what?
That's good work if you can get it.
You fooling with me now, I know. But I mean, were you unhappy about that? I'm just asking. And Olivia says, Denny's here is actually great here. So yes, I would definitely go. I mean, not right now because of the virus, but I love our Denny's here.
Yeah. You know what? Denny's is very popular here in California. A lot of Hispanics go. I mean, they're usually all packed. But I like Denny's when they upgraded their menu. Remember when they got to the Sizzler? They put they upgraded it versus the breakfast stuff. And you had the Sizzler menu and the meat menu, and it was really good. So yes. But look, you tell a sister here, hey, let's go to Denny's. Good luck.
Next. And Randy says, years ago, I took a lady out. She ordered 2 different lobster. She ordered 2 different lobster meals and mixed drinks. Then she wanted to see what I was ordering. She got pissed when I called her a cab. And she still hates me today. So you thought she was ordering don't worry, honey, I'm a order for you. She was taking her doggy bag home. And Pioneer says, Agnes and Gertrude probably already knows he's spending time over here because all they do is sit on the porch all day gossiping and watching what goes on in the neighborhood, laugh out loud. So they're like, okay, well, let him get his time in and then he come back with his Bengay and we'll be all right. Okay, got you. And that guy from Texas says, go old school and cook for your date after you run a background check. Yeah, see, I mean, I guess, I don't know. I think I would want to get to sit down with you and listen. I don't mind cooking. I like cooking, but I don't want to feel like I'm working on the first date. I want to be able to sit down and be cute and all that with you, even if it's over coffee, right? I don't want to be like, oh, okay, I'll be right back. I think I'm burning the grits. I want to be cute and conversational and all of that.
Hey, have you ever, fellas, have you ever been on a date, like to meet the girl for the first time and she's got the baseball cap on and her weave is all underneath? She didn't really go all out. She's just there to meet you real quick because she got to go and, meet her girlfriend or drop her kids off at school.
Damn. You need to stay off of back pages, okay? And the guy from Texas says, oh, I read that. And Curtis says, Ray, laugh out loud. And the Pioneer says, laugh out loud. Randy C. calling her a cab. I mean, I can't say I blame you. In Thunder, you say Agnes and Gertrude are cool as long as I have some change left over. Laugh out loud. One day I'm going to have money like them old men. One old man said his money was longer than the choo-choo smoke. Okay. And Anita, you said, laugh out loud, Lord Donovan, you and your slips. Nah, that's Thunder and the slips. He's just influencing Donovan now, talking about they want getting these men that want a woman with a slip. I'm looking for a slip, so I'm just letting
I'm an older brother. When I go to Victoria's Secret and I see those slips, those purple ones and the red ones with the Victoria's Secret thing on it, yeah, I'm gonna get that. Hell yeah, that's sexy. See, these younger kids don't know nothing about that.
I guess. I mean, you gotta find a slip. Money says, depending on where you live you're going to have restaurants Black owned. That's also upstairs. Unfortunately, I'm in Detroit. So in downtown Detroit, you have a wide variety of all types of food restaurants. Okay. And thank you, Marcus. You guys, if you're in Facebook and you see the link and you want me to read your comment, click on it, and I would love to do that. Hi, Sean. How are you? You say laugh out loud. Pioneer says, now I know a sister has to eat. But for some reason, a woman with a large, a large appetite is a bit concerning and in some cases frightening. Laugh out loud. Well, back in the day, and I actually learned this watching Gone with the Wind, when Scarlett, was going to go out on a date or whatever it was, and her maids or whoever, mom or somebody told her, you got to eat here because a man wants a woman that eats like a bird. You don't want to be basically scarfing down your food on the first date. And so that is actually old school advice. I've heard that from a lot of older women. Eat something at home first. And that way, when you go out to eat, just I have a salad or, something light, because that looks, I guess, more feminine. I don't know.
Well, you remember, Demetra, before you would go to the all-nighters at the base, you and your girls would drink a little bit before you get there, that way you're already ready to go,
I wasn't a big drinker. I was a designated driver. And plus, I had to make sure that all my girls got home safe, okay? You hoodlums there on base. Well,
hey, the barracks is right across the street here. You don't have to go drive home. Come to the barracks right here.
We wasn't spending the night at nobody's barracks, okay? And Moni says, but also... take it on this level. Why does a woman have to be considered holy because she's not cheap? Maybe she don't want a McDonald's meal now. If she wanted one, it's not a problem. But what if she don't? Well, I think the McDonald's is probably, come on, fellas, come up off the dollar menu. And Gilvetta, how you doing? He says, good evening, Black First family. Yes, indeed. And Al says, reverse in the Taco Bell drive-thru. That way the pay window is on her side of the car. Hail to the knob.
Yeah, did you notice that too? Oh, man.
I'll be like, something wrong with you, brother. The Pioneer says, when I was younger and spent excess money on the date and didn't get sex, I was disappointed. But when I got past 30, it no longer bothered me because I stopped making that mistake. Do tell. I mean, Goddess, how you doing? He says, hi. I'm so happy to catch y'all live, and we are so happy that you did too. And Moni says, parts of the downtown Detroit, Donovan, you can have a meal that's a minimum on the cheap side of $20 to $50, on the high side or inside above $50 to $3,000, which includes Dom Perignon extra dry pink.
In Detroit? I'm not doing that to be mean, but I'm just saying Detroit is still going through a renovation. I mean, golly, in Detroit? No, I know Detroit's a major city and things like that, but I'm just saying, in Detroit, we don't have those right here in Beverly Hills. Man. I need to get back there if they're having it like that.
I hate you.
Come on, let's get back to the show.
Okay. Sean, you say dangerous? What's dangerous? Take somebody back to your house? I am so weak. This is stupid. Okay, the Pioneer says, I say about 95% of the time a woman invites me to her home on the first date. We end up having sex. Laugh out loud. I take that as a clear sign. See? And that's why I'm saying I don't think it's a good idea to go back to the house. Felicia says, Demetra, the tone is because I'm remembering a long time ago, 13 years committed relationship. Okay, got it. And Gilberto says, exactly. You open doors when inviting to the home. Also, first and second date, etc. You're meeting a person's representative. Exactly. Everybody is putting their best foot forward, right? They're not putting their true self forward. That's just true for everybody. And Sunlight says, no, I meant know if you're interested in them on the first date. Okay, got it. Yeah, I think you should know by then, right? For the most part. And God has said, laugh my ass off. And the Pioneer said, laugh out loud. The only places in downtown Detroit, if you can have a dinner for two under $50, is at the homeless, the homeless shelter. There you can eat for free. Okay.
I mean, but between the Pioneer and what Moni's saying is that they've created an elitist area to where they don't want anybody who can't afford those prices in that area. Golly.
Got it. Okay. Thunder says she wants steak and lobster when it's my dime, but at home she's used to eating chicken nuggets and soda. In my Reverend Bullwinkle voice, hell no to the no, hell to the no.
Wait. And you forgot the top ramen packs.
You know what? And Tyrone, how you doing? He says, damn, wish we could write dates off on taxes. You can if you mention your business. You say we discussed it. Where do you work? Oh, I'm the CEO of ABC Acme Company. Write it off on your taxes. You're welcome. And Hannah says they're bringing the promise of sex at some point. You don't know each other yet, so that sex and money is the only thing visible at this point. Okay, I kind of get that, because I'm thinking if I'm going on a first date, I'm not thinking about having sex with him. I'm thinking about maybe we're just going on a date to kind of get to know each other, right? And Alan says, on an episode of The Shy, Imani asked Jake, are you taking me out? He says, what's the occasion? She said, I'm a Black woman and that's the occasion.
Delusional.
The end. Okay. Do I need to say more?
Wait. What was that show that what's her name? Megan Good is in? Yeah, I'll get you some groceries. All right.
And Gilberta says, right, Demetra, she could cook the other half of the roast for someone else. That's probably what she did. She was like, thank you, boo-boo. And Sunlight laughing. The Pioneer says, I know a lot of women who love me taking them to the Golden Corral, especially a few sisters from the hood. Give them a chance to get out. And Gilberta says, Donovan Sizzler, we don't have those anymore.
Damn, that's shocking.
Yeah, I think there's only a few in California as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, there's one remember the one on Paris Boulevard in Moreno Valley?
That one, yeah.
Still there.
Let me tell y'all a story.
Okay.
I went there with Donovan one day to the Sizzler, and we got the buffet, so that means you go get your own thing. And the lady was like, do you want to leave a tip? And Donovan said, for what? You didn't do nothing.
I forgot that I did do that. I did. But I mean, wait. And it wasn't to be disrespectful. I was like, you didn't do anything. We did everything. Why would I leave a tip? Golly, what's wrong with these folks?
But he would never do that on a date with you ladies. I'm just telling you that, okay? Warrior Scholar says there are regularly scheduled cooking workshops where the attendees are all cooking along with the chef. And I see Black couples attending them as a date all the time. Now, see, something like that would be fun, right? But as far as me cooking on the first date, and Pioneer says, it reminds me of the scene from the movie Mo Money, where the rich dude tells Stacey Dash if he doesn't get it together, he'll send her ass back to the project. Oh, so she doesn't get it together. Wow. And Pac-Man says, I want to take Demetra out on a nice date. Okay, where we going?
Brother, you better have your bank account full.
Nah, it ain't even like that. And Morning says, expensive date is not just for wealthy people. Love yourself to treat yourself periodically to the best, because you're a creation that God created, and God was not cheap in how he made you, whoever you are. Okay, so that's a different, take on it.
I agree with that, Moni. But the thing is, if you have rent due, do you still go out and treat yourself when you know that you have child support payments or something? You know what I mean? What situation would that really, really apply in our community if you don't have the money like that?
Good question, Donovan. And Tam, he says, I live outside Atlanta On one date, we walked the Beltline 5 miles. See, that would be fun for me to go like on a nice walk, or workout or something, nothing too strenuous, like lifting weights and all of that, but a nice little walk or something. And the Most High, how are you doing? He says, hello, everybody. All praises to the Most High. Black verse always struggling and striving against the most satanic, corrupt society on the planet. Woo, yes, indeed. Pioneer says trafficking is getting people to disperse and pass along to others. If I had billions or hundreds of billions, I'd fly to places like Haiti, Bangladesh, the Congo, Jamaica, etc., etc. Beautiful women. Okay. And Moni says, Donovan, when you get to your local grocery store, whatever you see, the cost of food has went up tremendously by 80%. And that's why here in Michigan, you hear people crying about it. Okay.
Well, and I got to say this, because I grow my own fruits and vegetables. Well, not vegetable, I grow my own fruits. I don't shop those anymore, so I wouldn't know how much they've gone up.
Right. And Rayshawn, how you doing? He says, hello, Queen Demetra, brother Donovan, and Room. And Moni says, it's something inflation done went up when they have increased the food stamp assistance throughout the whole United States. Food supplies is becoming scarce because of shipping, allegedly. Okay. And Felicia says, activities, carnival, walking, and buying things in the park, walk in the city and grab some things to eat. Fast food right there. I used to ask to go for a nicer date. That would be a grab a movie or like. Okay, something of her choice.
Right. Well, let me ask you this, Felicia. I'm going to take you to Disneyland. Now, if you know anything about Disneyland, just to get into the door, for you and me, I'm already looking at almost $300 just to walk through the gate. Parking, just go through the gate. Now you want to eat in the park. I'm looking at another maybe, $150, Demetra?
It depends on what you eat. Yeah.
About $150. Let's say we go to one of the restaurants and we sit down and eat. Another $150. After all of that, do you think I might get to know you a little bit better? Just asking.
The Pioneer says another thing about trafficking is, I believe, it's done against the will of the victims, but the women I get will have to go willingly, and they be returned back home whenever they like. Okay, I was just thinking about the trafficking.
Yeah. But the people that are going to Dubai and stuff like that, there are actually women that these sultans are giving money to bring them in. Who's that? Scottie Pippen's wife. She's saying she's making $10,000 a day, and it's mostly probably from these sultans. And it won't be long before they're going to fly her to Dubai to do whatever she's got to do. There are women that are in the United States that are willingly to go over there to be with these princes and sultans and making that kind of money. Look what Janet Jackson did. She dropped a baby, just before that was in her contract, whatever. If they got divorced, she dropped that baby just before the divorce took place or whatever. And he paid her out, almost $500 million?
Something like that, from what I understand. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, a lot of women are being trafficked willingly. That's just something that's just known that they do.
Moni says, in light of the virus, Demetra, thanks to the African Diaspora Channel, I'm not going to be eating out no time soon. In Michigan, the numbers have went up, where we're averaging about 12 to 20,000 per day. Yes, getting like that in a lot of places. So absolutely. And Felicia says, if I pass, they be said, okay, or let plan. Oh, so you're talking to Anita. Okay. And Don says, no, Demetra and Donovan, I got receipts, photos, passport stamps. I'm not playing with y'all. I guess the conversation was that strong. I met her on a business employment internet site in 2003. Okay. So you were a boy toy. Got it. I'm sorry. I don't know. And Olivia says, I should have clarified what I meant. My family has acres, and that's where I live, and several other of us. I don't invite just anyone, but I know that I'm protected if I bring someone home to cook. Okay. And God is intellect. You say, I think something simple is best for the first date. Make sure they are even worth your energy and time. But if you've known them for a while, then why not go to an upscale restaurant or cook for them? Yeah, I mean, you know the person for a while. So yeah, bring them home to cook something for them, nice or whatever the case is. But I don't know about no first date. And Nasi, you said Demetra is keeping her Victoria's secret not on the menu. Damn right.
I don't know if you guys know this, Nasi, but if you ever see Demetra in public, it's hard for her to keep her Victoria a secret.
He's stupid.
She's been blessed from her mother to have a nice little backside there.
I mean, I've seen nicer, Uh, and Olivia says, why are you in Victoria's Secrets, Donovan? You should go there only for your wife or someone serious because she may not like it and it would be a waste for one night.
That's why you always get the gift receipt. That way she could exchange it for something else or whatever. But no, I like to go to Victoria's Secret because I have a mom and an aunt. And so you don't want to come off as cheap. So I go over there and get them the big old flannel sleeping out attire. I'm not going to get my mom nothing sexy.
All the way up here.
Yeah. I'm not going to get my mom nothing sexy, but I wanted to have it the Victoria's Secret or the pink so she thinks she's cool,
Robin says, wow. And Marnie says, Demetra, if it wasn't the pandemic with everything closing down in some states, Michigan is the top 3 high numbers. If a man took you on a cheap date you didn't ask for, that would be an insult. Okay.
But see, we keep missing the main question though. If you didn't have interest in this man, why would you be going out on a date with him?
Reggie, how you doing? He says, y'all stop dogging my hometown. Laugh out loud. That wasn't me. That was Donovan. That was, y'all heard how he had that inflection in his voice. Detroit. Pioneer says, the classiest place I took a woman to in downtown Detroit was the buffets at the casinos. Laugh out loud, okay? Y'all don't understand that. When I start laughing, I just lose it. So please forgive me. And Goddess says, Demetra got me cracking up. The partner says, laugh out loud. Donovan is busting on Detroit. Yeah, see, it wasn't just me. I know I wasn't reading that crazy. Gilberta says, at Donovan, no, sir, that's funny. Don't do Detroit like that. And Tipsy Kitty, how you doing? And welcome. You say, that needs to be a t-shirt in Detroit. See, it wasn't just me. And you got to put the in Detroit.
When I think of Detroit, I think of OCP from what do you call that? RoboCop. Just.
Hollywood 2000. How you doing? You busted up too. Pioneer says, well, at least we ain't Cleveland. On offense to the Clevelanders out there. Laugh out loud. And Willie, how you doing? Say happy holiday and happy holidays to you as well. And Thunder says, men wouldn't have to go through this if the go up to the mountains finds one shoe on a riding horse, brings her back and keeps her indoors and only give her DVDs to watch and no outside influences.
That's right. No friends. You can't have no friends.
I'm going to leave that one alone. And Marty says, Demetra, I couldn't agree with you more. You should always have a little bit of something for you. Read at home so you're not just gorging yourself at the restaurant that could draw a cheap meal in the end. Okay. Pioneer says, Donovan, you got it, man. Detroit is like a third world country. It's a city with few wealthy and a couple ultra-rich enclaves surrounded by massive poverty and deterioration.
Yeah, I mean, that would have to be it but then that's the United States right now with the wealth gap being the way it is. I mean, you got the ultra super duper rich and then you got the rest of us. Yeah.
And the guy from Texas says, Denny's is cool, but I prefer IHOP. Okay. It sounds like a serious question. Is a woman who offers to go Dutch considered masculine, modern, or too independent? I've heard that argument made.
I would say she's a modern woman, which is where there's nothing wrong with that because she's most likely dealing with a modern dude that's been raised by, single family homes or whatever. But if she's with an older person who's a more traditional, it would be a little bit different, but it wouldn't surprise me that she would want to go Dutch if she's a modern woman.
I wouldn't say that makes her masculine, but I don't know. Y'all tell me as men that it could offend a man if she's offering to pay, especially if he is a traditional man who wants to pay for her. I don't know. Y'all tell me. And Olivia says, RIP, Mr. Bullwinkle. Okay. And yeah, RIP to whoever that is. Sean says, laugh out loud. And Hannah says, get to know him for what purpose? Well, I think get to know him to see if you want to, continue on with getting to know him more. I think that would be it for me, right? Pioneer says a lot of people get offended when outsiders bash Detroit, but I don't. When I started traveling to other major cities, I realized just how shitty the city really was. Well, damn.
Yeah, and what's that? There's nothing wrong with having pride in your hood and where you're from. But see, that's another big problem with us as Black people, Pioneer. And you were in the military. you've traveled a few places. But the thing is, they think that that's the world, and that's the problem with the United States. We think every solution around the world is an American solution, and that's not the case. And that's why, like Demetra, even if on the African Diaspora channel last night, they were talking about just going to Africa one time. You've been to Jamaica 12 times. You've been to, Europe. I don't know why you would want to go there when you know everything about Europe from what they teach you in school. But just go and see how we're living in other places, and you will be amazed, and you will come back here with a different mindset.
Absolutely. Randy, you say men try water parks for first dates. You'll see what you need to know. Yeah, she's scary as hell. And Armani says, think of it, Demetra, if a man is complaining about $100 to $200, he's cheap. I wouldn't even waste my time. A lot of them make excuses for it, even cheap with their clothes. But why? Okay. And Thunder says, when you bring her back to the projects, hang a photo of her parents' home on the wall. On the hall. I guarantee she'll always be grateful and never give you any problems. Uh-huh. And I gotta intellectually say exactly, a tip is gratuity. Gotta earn it. And Curtis says, I get me a salad bar at the Sizzler. Man, I miss those here. I'm a fool for a good salad. Woo! Yes, I love a good salad as well. And Gavetta says, oh my God, Donovan, no. And Moni says, Donovan, why are you talking about Detroit? Detroit is where all of your famous judges, all of your Motown legends come from when they want to buy their clothes. Their minks like the alligator shoes. Don't get it twisted. And Pioneer says, I'm talking facts.
Well, wait. Let me address Moni, though. But didn't Motown end up leaving and moving to Los Angeles? I'm sorry.
Oh my God. Pioneer says, I'm talking facts. Ain't no Golden Corral in the hoods. They are usually just outside the hood where the hoodsters can have access to it to eat or work as dishwashers. Lord have mercy. Moni says, why you saying Detroit goes through a renovation? Never forget that the Dramatics are here internationally known. Anita Baker, how you doing? Smokey Robinson, Stevie Wonder, Martha Reeves, how you doing?
And okay, well, no, and that's good and great, but I can almost guarantee you a lot of them have homes here in Los Angeles that can get away from there. But and nothing, like I said, Detroit has a great history and all that other good stuff, but all of those people you named doesn't put money in my pocket, and they actually help the Democratic Party deceive Black people into voting for them, and thus we get nothing.
Olivia says he probably would do that on the first date with me. For real, I would do the same myself. Okay. The guy from Texas says YouTube just recommended one of your videos from 4 years ago. One of mine? Ooh, I'm scared to know what it was. And Moni says, now why of all are you laughing when you go up in their homes? Their homes are custom made with everything. They're far from being cheap. Now you got to get your raggedy parts as alligator capital. Well, I wasn't laughing at the fact, not that it's a fact that Detroit is raggedy. I was laughing at how surprised Donovan
how I said it. Yeah, how
he said it. So forgive me.
No. And like I said, we're not saying Detroit is raggedy. What I'm saying is it is very shocking to me that when you think of prices that you named there, the first thing that comes to anybody's mind is what? New York, California, Paris, major. Detroit is the last city you would, not one of the last, but it's not a city you would think of that would have those type of exorbitant prices. That's all.
Brother Joel, how you doing? He says, I'm late. Well, good to see my beautiful Israelite sister and my Israelite brother, Donovan. Yes, indeed. And Gilberto says, Donovan, you are right. People are so busy trying to impress and knew they didn't have the money. Just be honest. He says something people can't.
However, people can't.
However, people can't. Yes. Mm-hmm. Laugh out loud. And I'm going to go to some of these other comments just to kind of catch up. And Thunder says, in all seriousness, I don't spend money on things like that. But what I do is travel. I'm 150 to 200 for a night out. 6 nights out will pay for our trip to Greece or Germany. In my opinion, is better than eating out. Yes, indeed. And Gavetta says, laugh out loud. What a little bit better, Donovan. I'm hollering over here. And Nikki says, Moni, that's nothing to brag about. Oh, Moni says, now, Donovan, in our casinos, you can have dishes that could run 200 to 500 easily on a high end. That's called the High Rollers in Greek Town Casino or Motor City Casino. You don't even get in without a name.
See, that's what I'm saying. Your casinos, you would think something like that would be Atlantic City. You would think it would be Las Vegas. We're not making fun of Detroit. It's just Detroit is going through a renovation with the way the auto industry has moved out of there, and they're rebuilding it. It's been taking a while, but they're actually going through gentrification. So you wouldn't think Detroit. I mean, they did file for bankruptcy. I mean, it is what it is.
Don says that's not traffic, that's hoeing. By the way, she's 14 years younger than myself. So the woman that had you on the stroll, that she's 14 years younger than you. And
is she still hiring?
Stop it. Nikki says people shouldn't live beyond their means just to impress someone else. I prefer a person to like me for me. Me too. And let's see here in Pioneer. So the only time I've been inside of Victoria's Secrets is if I'm on a mall with a woman and she drags me in there. Then I look at her like, do you need that to get me in the mood? And Felicia said, Donovan, I was really young in college in Europe and working with a house. I really let the woman feel she went to places with me. You'd be surprised. Hashtag play wisely. And Mona says, at the end of the day, I've never heard of a high-end restaurant in Texas. Not to say there isn't any, but I see a lot of blacks that come from there seem to be real cheap, even California. Okay. Environment says RoboCop. You mean you don't think of Action Jackson or Martin when you hear the word Detroit? Y'all better stop. Or was that Dr. Detroit?
Detroit. I remember that. Lynn Whitfield was in that movie. And who else was in that movie?
I don't know.
Fran Dresser, the nanny.
Okay. Hello, Steve. It says, hello, Demetra Kaye, Donovan Sadiq. I'm asking, did Trump finally let Candace Owens, I think you haven't, she's not eating anymore to suck on white supremacist semen? Yes, I saw that interview and I'm going to talk about it hopefully on the African Diaspora News Channel. But I was like, wow. Even, it was bad when Trump was fact checking Candace. They had an interview and they were talking about certain things. He was like, well, no, that's not really true. I'm not saying that the jab should be mandated, but I think it does save lives. And she kept on like trying to bring up all these false talking points. He was like, no, that's not true either. I was like, wow. Yeah. So I think Candace, little butter biscuiting is coming to an end.
Oh, no. You guys don't fall for that. Donald Trump is the devil. You need to vote Democrat or he's going to get back in office. You got to vote down. You got to vote for the Democratic Party. We're your only hope. Even though we didn't do nothing for you. If Donald Trump gets back in there, what do you think he's going to do?
Pioneer says the one thing that stands out the most about the younger men 35 and under who have been raised by single mothers is their pettiness and emotionalism. Can't let nothing slide, all up in their feelings. Whoa. And Martin says, Donovan, you can go out on a date with a person and not be interested in them sexually, but like their personality and their friendship. And there's nothing wrong with that. Let's be clear. And Robin, you say, wow. And I'm just going to kind of get to some of these other comments. And Pioneer says, Donovan, I have to make it clear that I'm not a military man. I've traveled a lot, but I wasn't in the military. I haven't been in. Sorry for the misunderstanding if I led people to believe that. I didn't believe that you were. I thought Donovan probably thought that.
Yeah, I thought that. I'm sorry.
And Allie says, I believe going Dutch is letting a no good man off the hook. And that's coming from a man, y'all. That's coming from a man. And
that was raised by his mama. No, I'm joking.
That's coming from a man. I mean, I wouldn't want to go Dutch on the first date. I'm not saying that I want him to take me somewhere expansive.
Well, I'm speaking to the men. Of course, we want to put our best foot forward as much as we can. Just like these ladies to do what they're doing to impress us, we should do the same for them. And I'm not saying spend $300-$500, but just you put your best foot forward.
Morning says, I've been to Baker's Lounge and it was nice, but I like Floods a lot better where I can look at the real haves and have nots. And Robin says, exactly, Donovan, Detroit is the last place a person would think of. The truth is the truth. Al, you say, I'm saying Detroit is raggedy. We're going to have a fight in the comment section. Pioneer says, Detroit really had an opportunity to be the Wakanda of the United States. But like Donovan said, when Motown left and went to California, that was the beginning of the end. And
they started letting the robots in. This is what happens when automation comes into your town. When the robots started coming in the late 70s, it was a wrap at that point. It was a wrap.
And Mona says, now I will say finally in Detroit, the ones that have had Gender vacation, or maybe make greater vacation, which is a gentrification. I think you meant is what you meant. Okay, gentrification, which is mostly all your downtown news center area. It looks a lot better. You'll never get an argument over alligator capital. And Robin says, I saw that where Trump was fact checking Candace. I loved it. Yeah, y'all got to check that out. And Hollywood 2000 says two hustlers trying to hustle each other, laugh out loud. Yeah, that can happen on, especially on the first date, right?
Yeah. You know, and the thing about Trump is, you want to know why he's fact checking her? Because somebody has told him there are so many black people disappointed with this administration that to win the election, you need to get that black vote. And you know what's sad? Well, not sad. A lot of black people will be voting for Trump because the Democratic Party is not doing a damn thing in regards to any of their promises or anything for black people. So that's what he's kind of catering to, saying, hey, look, what do you got to lose? I told you the first time. What do you got to lose?
Possibly. And Steve says, the hell with them Democrats. And Thunder says, the woman that asks for these things are usually not long-term planners. And the men that capitulate are really not long-term thinkers. And financially, they are more than likely in a bad situation. Okay. Olivia says, Victoria's Secret does no justice anyways in the panties department. It only covers one lip.
Yikes. Yeah. You know, but when I was in there, I saw they were selling this string. It was just a string, $70. I was like, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah, it probably had like some rhinestones and all of that.
Yeah, it was like a rind on the side here and a rind. It was just a string. And I was like, $70?
She like, this is going to give me a baller. This is the baller collar draws here. And let's see here. Pioneer says, I got spoiled. I used to go to Canada and the women there love Black American men so much. You didn't have to date them. They take you straight home. All right.
Pioneer, go to Australia. And all I'm going to say is go to Australia as a Black man.
Kevin, how you doing? He says, shalom, family. And Moni says, okay, so you're talking to Al. And Pioneer says, that was another good thing about being in Detroit. It was right next to the Canadian border. So all I had to do was go across the river and enjoy Little Italy and Chinatowns of Windsor and London. Okay. And Felicia says, at Donovan in the EU entrance to, I think you meant the Carnival. Look at Kermis, Netherlands. It's free with 20 euros per person. You can do some 3/5 activities. 20 euro is about the medium income hour rate. Okay. And Robin says, Trump got my vote. Sorry. No, I'm not. Biden gotta go. And Thunder says, my father always told me, don't get a woman you can't carry. If she's like Gucci and you work at McDonald's, you can't carry that woman. If she wants things she know you can't afford, and ask for them to leave.
So wait,
yeah, I agree.
So here's my question for you ladies out there. And it's a serious question. I want to know this. Now, some of us that do get married and they say for rich or poor, sick and all that other stuff, right? Do you guys really take those vows seriously? Because what if I'm with you and I'm making good money and all of a sudden I lose my job? Have you noticed that? What is the number one thing that break couples up? The number one thing.
It's money, but I mean, I think you should take those vows seriously. I mean, you know, things happen. Felicia says, Europe, the Netherlands. So a man can have not expensive game. Okay. And Goddess Intellect says, Victoria's Secret isn't for us anyway. Yes, for those little booty girls. Trust me, I know. Pioneer says, Trump is a part of the establishment. His interview with Candace promoting the jab is proof of that to all of his fans. Yes, indeed. Mona says, Donovan, you are correct. Motown did leave after they already made the stars. How you doing? How you doing? But they had to come up straight about the Brewster and Jeffrey projects. What a name that lasts them a lifetime. Okay. Steve says, did y'all see the period underwear? Now that's just too much. I have seen those, and I, for the life of me, I don't understand it. Like, why would anybody want to wear those? I can't wrap my head around it. And I actually went in there and, you know, tried to get an understanding for it. And I couldn't. I was like, I'm glad I don't have those problems no more. Just putting that out there. Curtis says, Victoria couldn't keep that secret. He says, couldn't keep that secret. And the Pioneer says, you're rushing through the chat, sis. Sounds like you and Donovan got a powerful commentary you're waiting to drop on us and are trying to get to it. No, I'm just reading because I know sometimes we get behind, and so I was just trying to get through it. But you know, we will give our commentary. And I see Moni still talking about Martha Reeves. She defending Detroit. She's like, I don't forget what y'all talking about. Detroit is the bomb, y'all. Gavetta says, Donovan, it's communication and truth. One Who Cares says, I took our vow seriously 27 years ago. We are ride or die, money or no money. I love it. Pioneer says, the weird thing about Los Angeles is that only a handful of Black folks actually live there compared to the rest of the population. Yet it's known for its Black entertainers and rappers because they can afford to live there. And Robin says, I don't care what Trump is a part of. I'm casting a protest vote in 2024. Whoever is running against Biden is getting my vote. I feel you, sister. Stevie said, lots of people not looking to be married, just need somebody to take care of them ride free. Yeah, that is true. And Mona says, again, Donovan, I would love for you to tell about wonderful California when you have rent that is 5,000 to 7,000. Are you living on that level? I think when you show up tell a story.
Demetra, could you go ahead and tell her, could I afford to live here?
He can afford to live there, but Donovan don't have no mortgage or rent. We hate him. And Thunder says, if she pushes you to commit crimes to provide for her, she doesn't care about you if she's always demands and can never give, and she shames you for asking. She's a bad woman. Find a woman who you can work with. So yeah, and I want to kind of give a little commentary. Let me get your comment. Gilvetti says that Donovan, I took it seriously on the vow. I took it seriously on the vows. The problem is that people look at celebrities for relationship goals. Yes, and stop doing that. I want to comment on that too. But Thunder, you make a good point, and Farrakhan actually talked about that, and he was actually admonishing women. He says, you know, your man is making a certain amount of money. Don't be putting pressure on that man to buy you stuff you know he can't afford. Then he has to go out there and get 2 and 3 jobs to try to take care of you instead of you, saying, okay, honey, I know you can't afford it. Let me be a good steward over the money, and let's see what we can do till we get to that level. But yeah, if you got a woman who is pushing you to buy her things she know you can't afford, or even if you can't afford it and she's asking you to buy her $600, $700, $800 pair of shoes and purses and stuff like that, and you don't want to do that, and she's mad at you because you don't want to, then that's probably not your woman. Because a woman worth her weight and that really cares about her man ain't putting that kind of financial burden on him. Listen, I want my man to keep the money in the pocket in the bank account. I don't need no expensive purse because I want what's in the purse. Instead of showing people, oh, I got a Louis, I got a Gucci. Nah, I would rather you know or not know that I got money in the bank, or my man has money in the bank. I'm like, if he got it and he wants to do that, okay, but I would never impose such a demand on anybody. Like the purse is what it loses value after a while. I mean, and my thing is everybody's running around with a Louis and a Gucci. I don't need to. Y'all should see my purse. It's kind of neat. Maybe I'll go get it and show it for y'all. Yeah, I got it really cheap.
Yeah, and it's really cool. I've been reading the rest of the comments going down there. Here's the thing of how I ended up doing what I did. When everybody, all my contemporaries and all my peers, they were getting Maxima cars, they were getting the CDs and the radios, and they were doing all this stuff, right? I'm a young man paying on a mortgage and just paying and paying. I had a little piece of car. I really went through it, but I knew at a young age, working 2 jobs, doing what I had to do, paid the mortgage off in 16 years. And I'm seeing my friends as we get older, they're getting bigger houses and, they're getting the Mercedes now, whatever. These same friends of mine are still out there having to work because they didn't have the discipline, or they were trying to keep up with the Joneses, literally, to impress who? And now they're kind of stuck in the matrix where I was like, no, I mean, everybody that I know says that the smartest thing that I ever did was to be content with what I had. And that's how I live my life.
Y'all probably ain't gonna be able to see my purse because of the green screen, but that's my purse.
Bring it over a little bit. Oh yeah.
It's a weapon too, baby.
Right. That's a
That's
a culture FOI.
I don't know who made it. I saw it and I liked it. It didn't cost me that much money. I needed a new purse. So I was like, well, why not? It's unique. So anyway, where did I leave off here? And okay. So
Right up there with
yeah, so
Gilvetta.
Gilvetta. Yeah, because I was you're saying how people are looking to celebrities for relationship goals. Nah, I mean, like we only know what they show us. Like, Glow to Jean and Melvin. We don't know what's going on behind their closed doors. We only know what people show us, right? So we should be our own relationship goals. Pioneer says, I remember the first time I went to Los Angeles and expected to see brothers standing around in blue and red, drinking 40s and set tripping, and mostly saw Mexicans selling oranges. Exactly. That's what they show you on the news.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. And the thing is, when it comes to making these guys work, you got Mexicans here that are working 2 and 3 jobs. These guys work so much. When do they have time to be with their families? To live in California?
True. And Gavetta says, not truth, not trust. And Steve, you say, y'all stop player hating on Donovan. We keep it real, okay? And then Gavetta said, not truth, but trust. Got you. And Olivia says, that's really Donovan. No mortgage is the way to go. Yeah, Donovan, he's cruise control. And the Pioneer says, I have a friend who's working 70 to 80 hours a week right now to buy things for his lady. He says he's working hard to do it to keep her from leaving him for the dope dealers.
I have a buddy right now who was debt free, retired military. All he had was a dog or whatever the deal is, right? Met a girl, got married, whatever. And this man had to go get a job and he's in the debt up to whatever. So some of you ladies got it. Some of you, I guess, don't. I don't know.
Again, I would never want, anybody I'm with to be under that much stress so I can have things, right? But that's awful, Pioneer. And Goddess Intellect says, right. And Randy says, some ladies want you to spend everything on them, add prices up. You could have bought 30 acres of land over a 10-year period. See, that's what I'm talking about right there. You ain't got it. Nah. But some people got 10 acres of land on their body.
Or you have a lady that you have a child with. She's going to buy the child who's growing every 2 months $70 shoes. I don't even wear $70 shoes, but they figured, oh, it's your child. The child got to look a certain way. If I'm not wearing $70 shoes, why would my child wear $70 shoes?
Good point. Thunder says King Solomon was the wisest man alive. His downfall was too many foolish women. And that's a lot of men are still going through that today. And Robin says, yeah, I saw when Farrakhan said that Farrakhan is the truth. Absolutely. And Sunlight says, I've noticed people give the needy to the needy and then the greedy, never the deserving, unfortunately. Pioneer said he claims he's trying to show her and her son, his future stepson, that you can get money the right way if you work hard enough. I think he's wearing himself out though. Yeah, she probably giving it to the mailman. I hope not, but he's doing all that. He's basically buying their love and affection. I mean, but something in him already tells him that she's, on the precipice of doing something he doesn't want her to anyway. So he might as well just save his money. I mean,
wait, who y'all talking about?
The guy at work who's working all those hours to keep his woman from going to the dope dealer. And Gavetta says there are a lot of people trying to keep up with the Joneses. Yes, indeed. And Goddess Intellect said, did you all see the girl who went off on her man for getting her fake Louis Vuitton? She went completely off and filmed it ridiculous. I didn't see that, but I hope that he snatched that replica of a purse and left her. I really hope so. I mean, and you filming it, like what people supposed to agree with you acting an ass? That's crazy. And Olivia says, I agree. I don't buy any purses beyond what Kohl's actually sells. Yeah, let's be reasonable, right? I mean, $100, $200 for a purse is like, really? Okay. But again, if you got it, then, hey, do you? One Who Cares says, exactly. We bought a large fixer-upper home and paid cash, and now it's double in value. See, that's what I'm talking about. Forget all this designer stuff. And Felicia says, on the other hand, David went on his knees to him while he sent the soldier to the front line, which he killed. Which he liked his wife. He got forgiveness, but sincere and come clean. So you're talking about David had the soldier killed so he can be with his wife. We're talking about the Bible. Gilvetta says, if people only knew, some of these people walking around like they have their business in order, but really they don't. They have no light, no food, no bed, nothing saved. Be honest and truthful with self. Yep, perpetrating a fraud. Trying to make everybody think they got it, and it's like you don't.
Yeah, and it's already been proven that the average American only has $400 in their savings. Sandra Bland was killed. She couldn't find anybody that had $300 to make her bail, and she got murdered. It's just unfortunate. But the thing is, we are so used to putting up a facade that we've got it like that when we know damn well we don't.
Very sad. Thunder says a good man is like the foundation to a building. No one thinks about him until he breaks down, and when he does, people complain about how horrible things are because he's not holding up his end. Yeah, I mean, to me, a good woman worth her weight, she is going to help her man. She's not gonna jump on him and then pile other people and things on with her. She wants to make sure that he's okay. Like I'm just one of those women. I don't want my man to be busting his back and all of that. Cause like, how long can he really do all of that? You know what I mean? Eventually he is going to break down. And so, when retirement comes, you don't want him to be like, stuck in his wheelchair or his rocking chair and he don't want to do nothing, But unfortunately, a lot of men do work themselves to death because they got a wayward woman who just like, I want things. I want to, to show the ladies at the church that we balling.
Mm-hmm. How many of you guys have women that are in my age range, in the 50s? I have a friend that she just got her PhD. She's up to here in student debt that Joe Biden could forgive, but he doesn't want to forgive it. And matter of fact, he gave you guys 3 more months to get your money together, to start paying it back. Trump would have forgiven that stuff if it was Trump. But anyway, so I asked her, she's like 50 something years old. And I said, wow, you got your PhD, you got the title, you're a doctor of whatever. And I said, okay, you've got all that. So what do you want now? Oh, I need to find me a man to help me pay off all this debt. You're 51. You have all of this debt. What man is going to step into that arena to do all that? If you wanted men to pay all your bills, you didn't have to go get a PhD. You could have just kept yourself cute and nice and, doing whatever you got to do. And a good man would have done that.
Pioneer says Glow Jean and Melvin are wise enough to keep their private lives to themselves and keep their business out of the streets, but they had 17 kids, so they were getting busy. I love it. JJ, how you doing? He says, I agree. Us ladies need to respect men's money so we won't end up on Dateline. Also do a survey to save some money. Yeah, I mean, that is our job. A woman is supposed to be a good steward over the money, right? Help me. You ain't supposed to be helping him into an early grave because he's stressed out. You're supposed to be helping him by saving, budgeting, and cooking at home, and all of that. And Moni says, at the end of the day, I think it's good for people just to know how to cook because we are living in a dangerous time that it can affect people's health. And I'm certainly not with it. Safety first. Yes, indeed. Steve, you say, stop pressuring brothers to buy you expensive things you can't buy for yourself. There you go. And Thunder says, when a good man is a thankless job, it says, when you're a good man, it's a thankless job. No one notices until you make a mistake, and then they can see you. And Pioneer says, a lot of Black people and poor people spend money on clothes and jewelry because of low self-esteem. They see those clothes and jewelry as extensions of themselves, making up for what's missing. Yeah, especially if you can't afford it, right? And Felicia says, it's your legacy your wife can carry. Pioneer says, if you notice, most wealthy white men don't wear a lot of jewelry and expensive clothes. They may have a pair of Dockers polo shirts and a gold wedding ring. It's about as flashy as they'll get. Yes, indeed. They can afford those things, but it's like, for what? I just, I'm gonna wear some everyday stuff. And Gavetta says, that's why men and women are around here stressed the hell out. Yeah, trying to keep up with the Joneses and perpetrating and all of that. Robin says, that's crazy. But if the man is willing to be under all that stress to provide whatever for a woman, more power to him. They bringing all that on themselves. Yeah, fellas, you got to learn how to say no. No, you not getting that. As a matter of fact,
how good am I at saying that?
You've gotten a lot better, brother, because Donovan was stressed
out.
No
is a complete sentence.
And I don't owe you no explanation. I'm not in a position to do that. That's the same way of saying no. I'm just letting you know. And Thunder says, all I'm saying is tell the men in your life Thank you. Believe it or not, give a man a little praise and he can do wonders. All most of us need is someone to believe in us for us to believe in ourselves. You know what, Thunder? I'm with you. I totally agree. We as women do need to believe in our men. And can I say this to you, fellas? If a woman is saying, well, honey, don't you think you could? And what about doing this? Don't take it the wrong way. We just see better for you, right? And we want you to do better. We want you to have a better life. It's not us putting extra pressure on you most of the time. We just want to, see you do better. I'm just putting that out there.
Live up to our potential, right? The potential that we
Yeah.
can't see in ourselves, right?
Exactly. That's all. And Gilvetta says, Donovan, and it's sad because we would rather buy clothes, shoes, wigs, etc., and not invest in our children's future. I remember I saw an episode of Divorce Court, and a woman was on there. She was mad at the man because he was mad at her actually divorcing her because she would spend all the money buying the kids designer clothes, this, that, and the other. And Judge Maybelline says, well, how many kids you got? And they said 4. I said, how many computers do you have in the home? She says 1. She says, you mean to tell me you buying all these kids, all this designer clothes, and they got 1 computer and you got 4 kids? She says, so what do? They share the computer? She says, seem like to me, they should all have a computer so they can study, go to school, and learn other stuff besides running around looking cute. I was like, oh.
And wait, real quick, Gavetta, do you know how sad it is that when you see these kids graduate, especially our kids, Black kids, they did the right thing, they made it to high school, and then there's no money for college. There's nothing for them, nothing. But their white counterparts and the Hispanic counterparts have something to move them forward, to get them going in a thing. But 18 years, nothing saved. And then if there's something was saved, well, I got to dip into that because I wasn't a good steward of the money, and I got to move that money over here to cover this and to cover that and to cover that. There's all kinds of clothes out here. There's all kinds of clothes. How much clothes do you need?
Right. And Robin says, sad. And the Pioneer says, Donovan, what's up with the 400-pound women? All kinds of meat hanging off of them with dry skin, but focus entirely on keeping their hair and nails done up.
Delusional. They're delusional. I mean, they're just delusional. These are delusional. They're just delusional.
I ain't touching that. Gilvetta says, my sister gave a great analogy. People with children get tax monies back. If you took 1,000 to 200,000 and put it up for 18 years, a child would have some college tuition. Now, see, that's just too much. Like, right? Yeah, absolutely right.
Yes, and there's some states that will match what you save in regards to that for their tuition.
And Moni says, I have traveled in a few places. Both me and my cousin Shay and I have seen some beautiful places. I just love Michigan. Not all that fond of always Detroit is what it is. At the end of the day, get yours. Still mad about that. I made Moni man. The Pioneer says, most wealthy white men do what I suggest. They don't waste time and money trying to impress women here. They fly overseas and get mail order, quote unquote, brides to bring back. Laugh out loud.
Well, Pioneer, I'm going to tell you, I went to the DR and I'm convinced.
Are you still on the auction block or not?
Oh, I'm always going to be on the auction block. I mean, I keep my options open.
Okay. I see how you got a little, your voice got high pitched. Usually when people get high pitched voices, they be lying. Thunder says, a man's purpose is to provide, produce, and protect. One of the jobs of a woman is to nurture. When you see that man is doing too much, care enough to stop him. But most women now feel if it breaks, get a new one. Nah, that's wrong. That is so wrong. It really is, but yeah, I mean, we should nurture our men. And let me see, I'm gonna skip to some of these comments here. And then Pioneer says, actually clean. That's one of the purposes of women in the life of a man, to encourage him to improve himself and do better. That's the purpose of cheerleaders in sporting events, to push the males. Yeah. But I just think, unfortunately, sometimes men, and I get it, there's a fine line between women, encouraging you and nagging you. So we have to learn how to do a balance. But, if she's saying the right things, take it all in stride and say, well, damn, she really trying to see me, live up to my potential. So I love that. And Steve say, I'm so happy I'm a recovering Democrat. Amen. Yay. And Moni says, I certainly can't hate him if he doesn't have a mortgage or rent, because it may have been a home that could have been given to him by a family member. And that's a wonderful thing. It's a luxury on TV. And Felicia says, not New Year in some of those places be 13. They think it, I don't understand what you're saying, but I will try. And let's see here. Let me go to Pioneer. He says it's a known fact that social leaders have known for thousands of years that whatever you want the men of society to do, just get the women of that society to find that behavior attractive. Okay, interesting. And Thunder, you say a woman says she wanted a husband so she can have a second stream of income. What the hell? Not a husband, but she saw him as a stream of income. What the hell? This is very disheartening.
Well, Thunder, that comes from the modern woman and our parents telling these younger girls, even though our parents were married, our grandmothers, our mothers were married, telling our sisters and the granddaughters, you don't need no man.
Yes, indeed. And Donovan put my link up here, DemetraKaye.com. If you need help with public speaking, visual and verbal presentation, I am your girl. Email me and I would love to have a conversation with you about it. And let's see here. And Moni, you say ugliness is not your outer appearance, it's your inner appearance. I see a lot of commentary shows on general talk on a Black woman like she's an animal, but they don't do that to white community. Okay.
Right, but but Moni, you also got to understand, you don't see white women talking about we don't need no man. White men ain't shit. You don't see that. We're the only group that's doing that, and until we can change that narrative, and I'm not saying it's up to women, it's up to men too. Until we as a community can change that narrative and know and that we need each other. I can't tell what white folks are going to do. I got to worry about my community first. I got to worry about home before I worry about outside of the home.
But I think she's more or less saying that people talk about how Black women look our appearance more than everybody else. So,
yeah, and I agree with that.
Yeah. You also say, but I hope you guys have a wonderful night. Can you tell us how your schedule will be for next week and what's the times you'll be on? I was so glad to see you last night with Brother Phil Scott. We should be on regular time. Sunday is the 2nd of January, so nothing really going on there. But yes, it was a pleasure to be on live with Brother Phil. We had an interesting conversation, as some of you guys saw. But again, the purpose was to raise money for the channel via GoFundMe. So if you guys would do that, go check it out and donate whatever you can. Much appreciated. And Pioneer says, if I get a group of women from the Congo or Zimbabwe or Bangladesh or Sri Lanka, I wouldn't have to worry about a violent gang from these communities or kidnappings. Well, damn. And Gilbert says, Demetra and Donovan, I am a BBW. However, I'm not dry or dusty anywhere. Laugh out loud, to each his own.
But here's the thing about BBWs. I don't care what anybody says. They all got, not all of them, but they have kids. A lot of them are successfully married.
I would say this about any size. I mean, men like women, like there's no one size fits all. There's a lot of men who like BBWs, women with meat on their bones. And there's some men who like, smaller women. But it's to each its own. But I feel anybody, you really should be comfortable in your own skin. You should be. It's just like whatever is comfortable for you, do that. You don't owe anybody an explanation as to why you want to do what you want to do. There's somebody out there for everybody. And hell, BBWs, in my opinion, are sexy. I think that they are. I mean, Donovan will tell you, when I was really working out, I got really small. And so when I look back on those pictures, I'm like, I don't want to be that small no more. Again, so I'm not trying to lose a lot of weight, but I am trying to, shape it up a little bit. Keep the meat on my bones.
And think about this. And I just been observing this. I noticed that when the BBWs go out and get the BBLs, is that what they call them? The Brazilian butt lifts? Yeah. They look better than the women that aren't as voluptuous, I guess, because you guys have more and you're more shapely and it looks more natural. So.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, to each his own. And Moni says, thank you for giving me a wonderful answer. I haven't been disabled. Both me and my cousin are, and we're coming back on our feet slowly but surely. Don't need any unnecessary BS in the process. No laughing. No, absolutely. I'm glad that you are on the mend, you and your cousin. And Gavetta says, as always, great conversation and comments from our Black First family. Yes, indeed. And you guys, we have a Cash App, Venmo, or PayPal. If you would donate something, we would greatly appreciate it. And thank you to the channel members for all that you do, and those who donate to the Super Chat, and those who donate on a regular basis. We love and appreciate you. And for those of you guys who want to and can't, we love you too. And let's see here. Pioneer says, Real Talk says, one of the reasons so many men act like thugs and gangsters today is because the music and culture has influenced so many women in the community to find that behavior attractive. Yeah, and it's not no grown woman wants a dude acting like that. I mean, I know I don't. I'm just saying. Because more than likely it's an act. It's not really who they are. They're just acting like that, and it to me is unattractive. Felicia says, when people talk white men, us in the Black community really look not, it says, look out, white friends traveling in groups to Asia. We're all married, they're all married, but go there alone. I'll just leave the wink and say, consent yours in. And I'm going to get to some of these other comments for time's sake. You also say some of these places be 13. This also should be said. Gavetta say 100 in the Pioneer. He says, just because a woman is big or even fat doesn't necessarily mean she's not attractive or is attractive. It's how she's made that determines her physical attractiveness. Okay. And Sunlight says that, Demetra, so why is the narrative being pushed that a BBW has a subpar man? Yeah, I hear that a lot. Like, oh, well, she just with anybody. Basically, the man, she's happy just to have a man, no matter who he is. And I know some BBWs who ain't with no, as Donovan would say, some street urchin. They got it going on. Okay, so that's all a myth. That comes from men, I think, with low self-esteem, that feel like it makes them better to talk bad about women and BBWs or whatever. But if you don't want a BBW, then keep it pushing, because somebody else does. Believe that. And let's see here. And Thunder says, she didn't say a provider or a protector, not a husband, but an extra stream of income. Shaking my head. Sometimes I feel like a disposable asset that once I served my purpose, I'm tossed to the side. Well, you need to get the right woman, baby. I don't know. Agnes and Gertrude, I don't know how they treating you, but you might need to look somewhere else. And Felicia, you said, gotta go buy. And thank you for being here from the UK. And Olivia says, I don't need no BBL. I'm good. He says, even if I didn't have no junk in my trunk. Yeah.
Yeah, but a lot of women are getting a lot, especially a lot of the smaller built women, which I think is kind of crazy because you don't really have a lot of fat to begin with.
And hi, Eli, how you doing? And Sunlight says, you can't determine how a woman is made by just hearing her size or weight if you've never seen her. That's a good point. Yeah, you're late, Eli, but we still got a little bit of time here. Brandon says, one of my drivers tell me all the time that he don't want any woman that's less than 300 pounds. He says, the more of her, the more you'll love of her. There you go.
Yeah, see? There are men out here who love big women. They're out here.
Yeah, a lot of men like that. And Mona says, it's amazing how you see states like California where people are sleeping on the curb, yet they'll work a job they can't afford, $2,000 to $4,000 rent. Amazing, no laughter. They're the true facts, right, Donovan?
Yeah, California is expensive. Like I said, $2,000, $4,000, that's an average type income, and you're living in an average type area. It's nothing extravagant.
And Pioneer says, are you in a hurry to get some of that Christmas turkey and dressing? No, I know Donovan, he's got to go see his Aunt T and them. So I don't want to hold him over too long. And say, Moni, you say, but now my question to you, Donovan, Michigan is more moderate state. You don't have to be in no parts of Detroit. Just y'all really got her vexed on this Detroit thing. Donovan, shame on you. Said just moderate living, that the more nicer parts you run a minimum of 1,000 to 3,000.
So you're talking in the suburbs outside of Detroit, Moni? Is that what you're saying?
And Pioneer, no. Robin says, I'm trying to get rid of the breast and butt that I have. I'm not trying to add no more to it. My lower back is killing me. Yeah, a lot of women with who are top heavy, they'll say that they want to get rid of them. Yeah. And Pioneer says, I've seen women of all sizes who are attractive. I've seen a lot of women who were midgets who are attractive. Beauty comes in all sizes. Absolutely. And Marty says, so I never hear nobody laughing when somebody no fault of their own have lost their homes in California, have made it to be homeless or gentrification, but some will laugh cheaper living in the East Coast. Hey, brother Sammy, how you doing? He says, does BBL mean big black woman? No,
Beautiful, big
big,
woman.
big, beautiful
Woman. Yeah.
Yes, I think that's what it means. Big, beautiful woman. But yeah, big, no, not big black woman. It's a beautiful in there somewhere. Okay. Finder says, thank you, King and Queen. Great show as usual. No, thank you. So anyway, I see y'all got Moni mad. Y'all got Moni mad talking about this Detroit thing. We didn't mean any harm by that, Moni. So please forgive us. So anyway, you guys, we are going to get out of here. Allow Donovan to go spend time with his family. We will be back here next Sunday.
I ain't spending no time. I'm dropping some gifts off and I'm out. It's getting late out here. It's dark.
Yeah, and cold, right? Y'all cold in California.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, it's 80 degrees. It was 80 degrees here today. So anyway, y'all, yeah, big, beautiful woman. That's what it means, Gilvetta. Okay. So anyway, you guys, we're going to get out of here. We'll be back here the same time on next Sunday. We might try to pop in. I keep saying we're going to try to pop in one day throughout the week just to kind of, some things happen, to give
we definitely have to get everybody geared up for the Democratic run. If you guys were watching the news this morning, they tried Kamala Harris out, and she's out there on her apology tour about, I didn't do I didn't do that, but we got to deal with these Republicans, and if we don't vote, this is what we want to do. If we get the majority, if we lose the House, they're starting their campaign of why we should vote for them, even though we didn't do anything for them. If we lose the House, we can't do this. If we do this, we can't do that. Well, bitch, you haven't done nothing yet. So why? You had your chance. It's time for you to go. So they're out there trying to get her to gear up to stop the massacre that's going to happen in the midterms. So basically, because let's face it, when the midterms, if the Republicans take over in any part of the House, the agenda's over. It's over.
Yes, indeed. So I'm going to read these last comments before we get out of here. And let's see here. Terry said 80 degrees for Christmas. I need to move. Yeah, it was that. It was nice. And Lon, how you doing? It says, happy holidays. Be safe. And same to you. Olivia says, I love a man that doesn't discriminate on any size of us, but can stand behind us. And yes, it does stand for big black woman. Okay.
My wife was a BBW, correct?
That she was. That treated Donovan like a rag doll. And he loved every moment of it. And yes, Sunlight, thank you. Says, have a great week. Peace, family. And Terry says, I'm protest voting. Same here. Pioneer says, they really running her through the ringer. She's the fall woman for that administration. Talking about Kamala.
Yep, but she signed up for it. So I'm not sorry for her at all. She signed up for it.
Thunder says, and they can fearmonger all they want about taking us to the plantation. I'm holding my vote. And Olivia said, it always meant that. Okay, so I stand corrected. It's a big black woman. Okay. And Robin said, if Biden Harris get back in, black folks is done forever. Yes, indeed. Pioneer says, brother Donovan, what's the matter? You don't like red bones? Laugh out loud. And
no, actually, I am very into dark-skinned women. I don't know what it is. My grandmother was dark-skinned on my mom's side. I love dark-skinned women. I just don't know what it is. Their skin is just flawless. I love
probably because of your grandmother.
Yeah.
And Gavetta says, big black, beautiful black woman, BBW as well too. Okay. And Moni says, when you make it clear, if you refuse to buy yourself a grown man $70 shoes, which is cheap as hell, you wouldn't feel the value buying your child that, which I do understand your point. And brother Sammy says, my ex-wife was a BBW. Okay. And Terry says, no sympathies for her, talking about Kamala. All right, y'all. So we are going to get out of here again. We have a Cash App, PayPal, or Venmo. If you want to donate to the channel, every bit helps keeping the channel going. We love and appreciate you. And we will be back. We'll probably come back during the week to maybe talk about politics. Talk about politics a little bit. We'll figure out which day we're going to do that. But anyway, you guys stay safe. And, watch something fun, read something fun. I don't know. And I'm going to start talking about books and stuff in the new year. And Brother Samuel, I did order that book that you suggested. I can't think of the name of it off the top of my bag, but Loving Yourself First. So it's a workbook. I really love it. So I'm getting into that as we speak.
Yeah. Well, again, books and movies. We're going to start doing some book and movie reviews and some music. We keep saying we're going to do it. We're going to do it. So.
Yes, indeed. All right, y'all. So thank you so much. You guys have a great evening. We love and appreciate you guys. Thank you, Marcus. Peace.